it's go time.
This is a 10-day event, largest shoot in the world. There are 5 rings that you can win.
What do you do to control your nerves?
I couldn't hear anything, I couldn't see anything. It was just that focused.
There's no one thing that's just a secret or a key to this sport.
All you think about is the little orange thing about to come out.
Whatever happens, happens, but in the event, you want to get to that shoot off so bad.
My trap shooting journey began when I was 10 years old, and it set me on a pretty interesting path.
You know our shoot off starts now, right?
You've got to be having some kind of like checklist or something. It feels like just the robotic nature of you shooting.
I think we all wake up a little anxious for this morning.
I just want to think about what I'm doing next, and that's it.
I mean, this is the pinnacle of our season, and everything comes to a screeching halt.
For some of us, it's complete ending of the entire season. Well, and you look, even the scores are so much lower than what we would normally expect.
Yeah, so far I don't think there's any shoot-offs for any rings.
The wind wasn't bad, there's light. I mean, y'all just missed.
When I lift that gun to call for the bird, that's my time to mentally focus.
I feel like I could go to almost any gun club in America and feel like I wasn't an outsider. The friendships that you make and the memories that you make with those friendships, to me, is the biggest part of it.
Every year I get the chills just pulling through the main gates.
This is the best shoot when you're talking about having fun. You get to see everybody, everybody's here. You get to see people you haven't seen in forever. I mean,
yeah, that's just something special.
Cool.
I thought I was up earlier than you. I was going to sneak in and get a shower.
Like, I'm so mad. I wanted to get a shower.
I know, and I got up early. I was like, woke up at 6:30.
it was 7. When I came out of that bedroom to go get a shower, it was 7:13.
No, it was not.
It was.
It was. Because I looked at my phone.
What did I do? Fall back asleep?
And he was like, well, it looks like we're not getting a shower this morning. Great.
Oh, well, we got it made.
I'm Ian Lawrence. I am 22 years old, and I have been shooting for about 12 years now. Man, I was 10 years old when I first learned about trap shooting and first picked up a gun and started trying to shoot. I just had a random opportunity one day to go out to a local trap field, and I went out and I started shooting. And I loved doing what I was doing, and there was a coach from a local youth shooting sports team there, and he told me that he thought that I had some potential in the sport and I should continue with it. So I started with that youth team and I started shooting and just kind of took it from there.
Do you have everything? Do you have your clip?
I got my clip, I got my shells, I got my earplugs, I got my gun, I got my glasses on my face.
You got your case with your extra lenses?
It's in my bag.
Okay, we're good to go.
I'm gonna have to tell Pete when his flag ain't up, I can't find our bank.
I know, right? It took it down.
Morning. You know I have a hard time finding my bank when you don't have your flag flying, right? That's what I look for to know where we're shooting. Oh, shoot.
All rested up and ready to go today?
I am. Got back and went to bed early and got a good night's rest. Ready for the day.
My name's Peter Walker. I'm 52 years old from Sartell, Minnesota. I've been shooting ATA for a long time. I'm a retired deputy sheriff. Yeah, I'm AAA 27 AAA. I've been on 4 All-American teams. I started shooting trap when I was a kid, and my dad and his friends actually started a trap club outside of town. They had a municipal airport with a grass runway, and they got permission from the city to build a trap range.
You know our shoot-off starts now, right?
Everybody looks at us and sees, you know, oh, we just got it made. We get to go and travel around to all these shoots. They don't know all the sacrifices and stuff that we try to make to get to these places. So we're just trying to show them every side of trap shooting and show that there is a great sport here to be had by a lot of people.
But what we're just trying to do is just promote the shooters, and it's just more about the shooters, like letting people get to know them and be able to, you know, associate with them. So we're just trying to introduce them to everyone and just try to inspire more people to get involved and to the crazy things that they do. You know what the average age of the trap shooter is? It's like 55. It's the 35 to 50-year-olds that we really need to try to jump into the sport.
You know, I don't like being still. I never have, and it's just a way for me to keep busy in between. I gotta have my, you know, flipping my hat.
Oh.
You know, I gotta have that. I'm a very fidgety person.
It's just part of the routine, and you don't break the routine.
My name is Bobby Fowler. I am 26 years old and from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. My trap shooting journey began when I was 10 years old. I actually got started through the local 4-H in my county. A couple of my friends wanted to sign up to shoot 22 rifles through our 4-H. We ended up going to our local gun club and found out that it was neither 22 rifles, and it was definitely shooting trap. I remember the ride home that night. My parents asked me, you know, is this something you want to try and do? And it set me on a pretty interesting path. As far as my training regiment goes, we would always shoot 250 on Thursday nights. That would consist of 50 singles, 100 handicap, and 100 doubles. We would also shoot some on Saturday nights as well. They had a 100-bird program that we would shoot. As far as when I get to a competition, the majority of my work has already been done. I just try to relax myself and relax my mind and go out and perform.
My name's Britt Dalton. I'm from Laverkin, Utah. I've been shooting for approximately 23 years. I'm a AAA, 27 AAA shooter and been on the All-American team approximately 6 to 8 times. So I started shooting whenever I was 9. That's whenever I first registered my first targets. It was in New Mexico. I didn't really start shooting a lot of registered targets until I was 12, and that's whenever I really got involved into the sport.
Hello, my name is Dagen Voigtman, and I am 22 years old from Plattsmouth, Nebraska. My trap shooting journey began when I was 11 years old, when I saw my older brothers shoot for the high school trap team, and I thought I would enjoy it, and I picked up a gun alongside them. I have made the All-American team 9 times, and I have been fortunate enough to captain the All-American team 3 times. So in 2022, I was fortunate to win the high overall, high all-around, and the handicap championships. And then in 2023, I was fortunate enough to win the singles.
Dagen, what's the secret to your success in trap shooting?
Yeah, we all want to know.
I'm not telling you.
I'm Eric Munson from Cokato, Minnesota. Been shooting trap since 1981. Started with my parents, been shooting, and I just followed their footsteps.
I'm Jacque Schnellenberger. I come from Coldwater, Michigan. I've been shooting since I've been 15, and I come from a trap shooting family originally. Because my folks were who they were, George and Kitty Snellenburger, they were both world champions. They were very well known. They had seen quite often that kids who got into the shooting sports either burned out or put so much pressure on them that it wasn't a good scene.
I'm Joey Charnego. I'm from Medina, Ohio. I'm a AAA 27 AAA shooter, and been trap shooting since 1998. I started when I was about 7 years old. My dad would have friends come over and go out and shoot some clays in the fall, getting ready to hunt. And I was, 6, 7 years old, and I had a slingshot, and I would sit there with a bucket of rocks and just shoot at the clays while they were throwing them off the trap. And over time, I actually got to the point where I had broken one, and then I broke a couple more and actually broke before they even shot. And so at that point, my dad, he said, all right, you can shoot the gun. He held it, I got in front of him and pointed it and pulled the trigger. And I broke the first bird I shot at, and the first thing I turned around to ask was, can I shoot a double now? I wanted to shoot 2 at a time.
I'm Pat Lamont from Brandon, Manitoba, Canada. I'm one of the few Canadians here. Oh, there's an influence. There's my dad. He owned the gun store actually in Brandon since before I was born. And we used to go to the gun club, and I would just pull and score for him and load targets, and then I started to shoot.
My name is Tyler Honnold, and I'm from Bean Station, Tennessee. I'm a 4-time All-American, and I've been a sub-junior captain 1 time. I began shooting in 2018 when I was 12 years old. I started my journey when my friend asked me to join the 4-H team. We didn't really know what trap shooting was, but he just thought it would be cool to join the team.
My name is Wyatt Debrie. I'm a sub-junior from Nebraska, and I love to shoot trap. So I was 11, baseball season got canceled due to COVID, and Mom asked me if I would like to start shooting trap for our high school team, and I figured I'd give it a try, and then kind of just took off from there, and I've been shooting ever since, 20,000 targets a year, and it's been a ride.
My name's Sean Hawley. Been shooting since 1981. The first time I ever shot, I was 10 years old, so that would have been in 1979, and it was practice. I shot for probably a year and a half before I started registering targets. So I would have been almost 12 years old, I guess, when I started actually registering targets. And I registered my first targets in 1981. What introduced me to trap shooting was kind of interesting because it was my uncle, who wasn't really a trap shooter, but he just wanted to have something fun to do with, he called me nephew and I called him uncle with nephew. He wanted to have something fun to do with nephew, so he says, hey, Neff, I got you a little 20 gauge H&R, let's go shoot some trap. I'm like, sure, what's trap? You know? And we went out there, and I was hooked immediately, of course. And he never really shot much, but he was always one of my bigger supporters. And yeah, that's how I got started.
So did you get your dad started shooting?
Dad shot about 20 years before we started again. He shot in high school about a year or two, and then he shot a couple years after, and then he quit. He sold his Craig off to buy my mom's wedding ring. So that was interesting. And then I started shooting again, and Dad's just kind of helped me along the way and taught me everything I know.
So my parents decided long ago that by the time I was 15, I would be able to either A, handle the pressure if I wanted to do it, and B, that I would be old enough to make my own decisions when that came about. So that was the rule in the house, and when I turned 15, I said, let's go, and my parents went, go where? And I went, you said when I turned 15 I could shoot.
We never really shot. My dad didn't shoot any tournaments or anything like that. It was kind of the backyard thing, and I got pretty decent at that, and then we went to a few local clubs. Got better as I went, and then kind of leads into, hey, you should come over here and shoot at this place. And then he said, oh, you should come down and shoot this registered tournament down at Great Eastern. So we went down one weekend, and I think it was in '98 is when I joined the ATA, and my first registered targets were at Great Eastern Gun Club, which was Aiden Kaufman and Sue Kaufman owned that, and he was one of my mentors, turned out to be kind of special thing there. Exactly. So yeah, that's kind of where it started, just leading into it. You go to a local club and then take it a little bit more serious and go to the next level, and then here I am at the Grand American competing at the world level, and I guess one of the top competitors here, which is a pretty special deal to be there.
We used to come out to the gun club and I would just pull and score for them and load targets, and then I started to shoot. And I started to shoot with a 870 20 gauge standing right up behind the trap, and I put 5 shells on top of the trap. And I would basically shoot till my arm was sore, and I'd turn around and say, that's about enough, Dad.
The thing with my father was that he was a Hall of Famer as well. So I grew up in the sport. Mom and Dad married at a trap shoot, married 6 days later at another trap shoot. And so my childhood, I was traveling to trap shoots. So it's been a family thing. And then when I started shooting, Mom quit. Trap shooting is a pretty expensive sport. So it was just, you know, as good moms do, they sacrifice themselves. And so then it became a Dad and I thing. And we'd been doing it for forever. And when he retired at 62, then as a teacher, I could go ahead and we would travel all summer together. Wow. And so we did that for a long time, and I moved in with him to take care of him because at that time he was in his late 70s, and I've had 3 competitions without him. But because he is a Hall of Famer, everybody knows him. I mean, like, he's an icon, like way back in the 50s when he was doing his thing. And we're one of 2 father-daughter duos in the Hall of Fame.
My goals are always to win Grand American titles. This is the greatest shoot in the world. It's you know, when you get a chance to win something here, it's always a thrill. So yeah, that's always my goal every year.
I would love to shoot off for a ring again. I've had the privilege of shooting off for a ring 2 years in a row, and I would like to continue that into this year and just have fun one last time before I move off to school.
I would still like to try to keep my streak alive of coming home with something every year. I'm hopefully going to be in a couple shoot-offs this year, Lord willing. And as far as in my sights this year, I just want to have fun with everybody and hopefully come away with something.
The biggest thing, like everybody said, is to win a grand ring. And so mine is probably the high overall championship, is because that's, you know, showing you're consistently shooting good throughout the whole grand. And then another one is to finish up my Grand Slam, and I just need 100 straight in handicap back here. So I've come close a couple times, but just want to try to finish that this year. So that's kind of some of the goals I have for this year's Grand.
Really don't set a whole lot of goals, just go out and have a good time. I get to shoot this year with some of my heroes and different people I haven't shot with for a while. So hopefully I can see them all up at the shoot-offs later.
So I think my expectations are just about as much as any other of these shooters that are here. You know, I come here and my expectations are to try and win all 5 rings. You know, I would love to do that, and if I could, that would be amazing. But the one that's really burning in my sights, I would say, would be the HOA. I'd really like to win the HOA here at the Grand American.
My expectations for myself are a little bit different. I have 2. One is personal. My father just passed away not too long ago, so it's to make it through the Grand without breaking down. And number 2 is I've had eye surgeries, and I have some great vision, so I am actually excited to see if I can continue that and put that together with some good scores where I've not had in the last couple of years just because of that.
I've been shooting since 1998. I've been successful at the Grand. I've got 11 championship titles. Now I guess one of these is gonna have to have 2.
I've been an All-American for 20 plus years. Grand Championships, I have 4. I have doubles in 2002, 2004, 2007, and the all-around in 2007. Oh, my first one in 2002 was very much remarkable. We got to shoot off with my heroes on the squad with me, and there was 8 of us that started. In the second round there was 5, and I was the only one to break a 20 on the second round.
Breaking my first 100 in doubles, that was my first 100 ever. That was a big one for me. And making the 27-yard line. And my most recent highlight would be winning the overall at the Western Grand this year. It's my favorite place to shoot. I've won the doubles twice over the field, and it's a great place to shoot, and I really enjoy it.
My favorite moment that I've had while shooting was last year when I was shooting off for the World Doubles Championship, and I made it down to the last 5 shooters in the last group. I unfortunately missed, but that was the highlight of my career so far.
Highlights that still make my heart race, probably losing the the doubles championship shoot-off several times right at the end. And it was just a flat-out choke on my end. I had it in my hand and couldn't hold on to it, and it slipped out. Some of the good ones were, you know, breaking hundreds in handicap, or, you know, breaking hundreds in doubles here and there throughout the years that have, you never kind of forget those. The high overall at the Grand in 2015 was pretty cool.
I'm actually a pilot, and so I spend a lot of my time, you know, I own my own airplane, so that's my other money pit that, you know, I spend money in, so.
I had a girlfriend at home. She got me a dog last July, so of course they're waiting at home for me, so it'll be nice to get back to them.
My wife and I, just 6 months ago, retired from law enforcement. We both had 31 years on the job. Our life is doing a lot of shooting. Come the fall, we'll do a bunch of hunting too, and just kind of see where the winds take us.
I have a 3-year-old son that is pretty much my everything, the only thing I care about. That's what I'm in a rush to get home to see him and spend time with him. And what we like to fish at the house. We've got a lake at the house and trap range. He loves coming to the shoots. He loves golfing. I like taking him out doing that. I'm terrible at golf, so when we go golf with my friends, they laugh at me and say, "Now you know how we feel when we go shooting with you."
The thing that's so cool about our game is that we go out there and we beat our brains out and try to break every single target that we can possibly break. But as soon as you've broke the last target, I mean, we're back here having a beer, having a Coke, or BSing, whatever, and we're all just friends, you know?
It's done.
Because this is an individual sport. It isn't really, I mean, I can't impact anything that you guys do, and I wouldn't want to, okay? And you can't impact anything I do, and I would hope you wouldn't want to either. So, you know, you do you and I do me, and then the scorekeeper finds out who hit the most of them, and that's it. But afterwards, when it's all said and done, we're all just pals.
Friends.
Yeah.